Welcome to the Coastal Athlete Program, presented by Apex Predator Athletics. Train today, survive tomorrow. Now, live from the shores of Monterey Bay, here's your host, Shep.
Welcome back to the Coastal Athlete Program. I am your host, Shep. On today's show, we have coverage of the ASL Adaptive Surf League event that took place here in Santa Cruz a few weeks ago, as well as the opportunity to get you guys hyped up for coverage from Worlds coming in about 2 weeks. We're going to be down in Pismo Beach on the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, I believe, is when I'll be there, but I'll have to double check my dates. But I'll be there covering the Adaptive Open Championship. So we're very excited to see what happens. Also, I've got an article coming out in Santa Cruz Waves in the February-March edition. The working title on that is Headfirst into History, The Rise of Prone Surfing. So we're really excited to tell a lot more stories on Coastal Athlete Program about adaptive surfers. But before we get to today's interviews, I just wanted to take a second to ask you guys to support myself, to support Joe, to support Jose, to support everybody all the veterans who participate in surf therapy, because One More Wave needs our support. The needs for donations has never been higher. We're entering the giving season. We're in the middle of the giving season at this point. This is the time of year when most of the money nonprofits raise comes in. So please help us. Sign up for a monthly recurring donation at onemorewave.com/support, and then sign up to give money once a month. Now, I've signed up to give about $50 a month. That's a big ask for a lot of people, and I'm not asking everybody to do it. But if you guys can give $20 a month, if you guys can give $10 a month, every little bit counts, because that adds up. That's leashes. Those add up into boards. Those add up into wetsuits. And we have never had more people wanting to get involved in surf therapy. The need's never been greater. So please help us out. Go to onemorewave.com/support. Thank you. Thank you in advance. Thank you. On today's episode of the podcast, we are going to sit down with Martin Pollock as well as Claudio Morales to talk to them about their experience as adaptive surfers, what they enjoy about the sport, the ways that they've changed and adjusted equipment to make it work for them. You guys are going to have a lot of fun listening to these interviews. Pay particular attention to Martin's interview because we talk about his experience surfing with a great white shark. A bunch of us jumped out of the water. Martin did not. You're going to want to hear what made him stay out there, what kept him in the water. It's pretty damn compelling. So you're going to enjoy today's episode. Make sure that you also check it out on YouTube, because this is one of the first times we're going to release a full experience in terms of coverage. You're going to hear some audio interviews. If you go on YouTube, you're also going to get to see some waves being ridden from in the water. You're going to see what they look like from up on the cliff. You're going to see what they look like from the drone. Myself, Danny, Jose Martinez, we've all combined our footage together, and we're going to put it all on YouTube. I'm going to be editing it together, and that way you guys actually get to see as well as hear the incredible things that these people are doing, right? These are some incredible human beings. I cannot wait to cover them at Worlds. Make sure you stay locked in on social media, and make sure to tell your friends. We're making efforts. The audio quality should be significantly better in this episode, although, on that note, qualifier, in the Martin interview, we had a couple people drive by testing out the limits of the bass capacity on their speakers. I apologize. Do not adjust your headphones. It's not you. It's us. Sorry. We're doing our best. We just switched over to I am doing my best. I just switched over to an HN1 Zoom recorder, and I'm still working out the kinks. So, hope that you folks enjoyed today's episode. Hope that you guys enjoy listening to these interviews, and make sure to go to YouTube, look me up, GP Schepler, SCHEPPLER, and check out the video that I'm going to release. Or you can probably also see a clip or reel of it on social media. Talk to you guys soon. Enjoy. Here's Martin Pollock. Awesome. Thank you for agreeing to be interviewed by me.
That's right.
So let's start off with the basics. If you give me your first and last name and spell your last name for me.
Okay, sure. It's Martin Pollock, and that's Pollock spelled Pollock.
All right. And Martin, it sounds like you're from the UK, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Where at in England?
So I live in Cornwall, like on the far southwestern tip, and I'm like basically on the southern peninsula, and you can only go like 4 miles further south on the whole mainland. And
that's Wales then, right?
No, Cornwall. It's
okay.
Where Wales is on the map. It's the point that sticks out below that.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm my house. I'm like basically, well, you can see the ocean from my house, and like within a mile of my usual break. So. Yeah.
And are you a veteran, I take it?
Yeah.
What war were you in?
Well, I was serving in Afghanistan, deployed October of 2009 and got blown up at the end of January of 2010. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And what unit, what did you do?
So, well, I was in light infantry, I was in the Rifles Regiment, in the 4th Battalion.
In British
Yeah,
forces.
British Army, yeah.
Okay. And so when did you get into adaptive surfing?
So that was my first time was October 2012 when I got to come out on a trip from home as part of my rehab stuff to Operation Surf over here in California. And my first trip was to like San Luis Obispo area. So I think my first waves were in Avila and then Morro Bay and a bit of Pismo and stuff. So.
And what was it about surfing that kind of spoke to you?
I mean, partly it just like felt. I don't know, it's just something about the feeling of it, and then also partly that I could see that with a bit of time and practice I'd be able to do it independently as well, because I don't really like having help with stuff unless I absolutely need it.
So that's what I wanted to. That's really what made me want to talk to you. Yesterday or on Thursday, we were out there for the Warrior Surf session.
Yeah.
The session that was. We'll get to why it was stopped early, but.
Well, it wasn't. But
exactly, It wasn't. Not well. Some people stopped early, but not.
Yeah.
I noticed two things. First of all, that you have. It looks like a custom-made carbon fiber scoop. For your left arm.
Yeah.
How is that something that you designed yourself? Talk to me a little bit about that piece of equipment.
So I didn't have anything that first trip when I started, and then I was like, okay, so now I need like a paddle. And there was like a blade that's done for swimming as a prosthetic attachment, and I tried that, and in the surf it just was not really up to scratch. And then tried a different.
When you say up to scratch, you mean it was physically uncomfortable or not enough propulsion?
It wasn't enough propulsion. It was a bit flimsy. It just wasn't up. It just didn't do it enough.
Okay.
Mainly about the drive.
Yeah.
And then. So then I tried a different idea where I had a different socket made, and there's like a training aid blade for swimmers, like the little like hand attached blade, and so tried putting one of them in the end of a socket, which worked really good for paddling, but I had one wipe out at Avila in a little surf and it just snapped it straight off, so then that wasn't good. Then me and Van Cruz, the founder of Op Surf, we'd come up with another design which worked pretty well. But then I had an interesting trip in Kauai and saw this board fin, which was based off of fish fin design, where it had like a rigid leading edge and flexible back edge. And
really?
so that sparked my idea as well. Oh yeah, of course. So fish fins be like boom. So then I went back to my process with this other idea for this like paddle, which was like carbon fiber on the top part of it, and then the bottom part it's made out of this material called Northane, which is like the inner plastic that they use for the sockets.
Okay.
And actually on that first one they just cut a piece out of one of my old leg sockets to give a bit of a circle, a bit of a cup to it. And I actually was using that from near the end of 2014 up until only a month or two ago when I got this new one. And then so it worked really good, but it worked brilliantly. But this new one we tweaked, so sort of angled it forward a little bit like SUP blades are. So as you push back, it doesn't come out of the water quite so early, and there's a bit more of a
longer
push.
delivery of force, right?
Yeah, and then also the previous one went narrow between the socket and the blade.
Yeah.
But this one I've left wide, as the same as your forearm would be. So there's that bit extra surface area.
That's pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
At one point in the middle, so we go out for the Warrior Surf.
Yeah.
And Jose's scoring a ton of waves. Mm-hmm. Carter's getting waves.
Yeah.
You're trying to find the right position. We were supposed to be working in the slot. We ended up working off the cliff.
Yeah.
I live in Santa Cruz.
Sure.
I'm watching other competitors who have
Yeah.
pushers who have a ton of experience with these waves.
Yep.
I offered to give you some pushes if you needed it, which is
Right.
totally legal within the ASL rules, right? Maybe not for me as a journalist, but whatever,
Right.
I get it. And you were very insistent on doing it yourself, which I have a tremendous amount of respect for.
Yeah.
When the shark got spotted and everyone else cleared out of the water, I said, "Do you want me to help get you in?" And you said, "No, I'm staying."
Right.
What was going through your mind in that moment?
Well,
Because to clarify for the audience, like this was a big enough fin that it scared locals and visiting surfers alike out of the water.
Yeah.
Like that.
yeah. Well, I mean, there was a couple others stayed out as well, but I didn't see anything, and then I could hear people saying, well, it's a bit big for a shark, probably. It's probably just a seal coming out or something else, you know. So they wasn't 100% sure, and then partly I didn't see it. And then I was sitting there and I was thinking, I see them getting out of the water, and I did start to head in, and I thought, oh, they've cooled the heat off, and then I hearing over the tunnel, they were still running the clock, still counting down, and I knew with my previous wave scores and I knew what I needed, so I was just like, well, if I'm the only one left out here, I'll just wait and get my pick of the waves and try and get the score I needed.
And you got at least one monster wave, is that correct?
I got a couple of decent ones, yeah.
A couple of good ones.
But my first one, like my best score was a real good, it wasn't that big, but a real good runner that I actually was able to surf. And although I got stopped, I was like lining up the next couple of sections, and like the kelp just grabbed my fins and stopped me dead. But I still got that wave was still my highest single wave score I've ever got, and my first excellent one. So that was really good. But then my backup score was good, but it was like it's one of those ones where the head section was breaking ahead, so it was too deep for that. So I tried to float the inside of it and got up over it, but I was like too far up on top rather than on the front of it, so it just ended up out the back. And so I didn't get enough of a score. And then the other ones, it just didn't really pan out right, you know. So, but that's just how it goes.
So heading into today, what's your strategy going to be?
Well, it's sounding like because of the conditions, we're going to have slightly longer heat. So try and be patient, and with what I've seen so far, you know, probably just try and stick to the inside a little bit and pick off slightly smaller ones that are peeling better. And I don't really like. I'm not getting on too well with being by the cliff. It's like yesterday.
There's a lot of reverb. Yeah.
Yeah. That it just every time I try and go is like I pop up and then it just be bucking me off, and I wouldn't make my waves. So I think I'm just going to try to stay inside, and if with the lower tide, if they start breaking a bit wider, then I'll go a bit further out and get them near the peak. So
I'm imagining you're trying to qualify for the Paralympics. Is that correct?
I will be trying to get myself on the team if we get into the Paralympics. Yeah.
If you get into the Paralympics, will that change your position on working with a support team? Do you think you'll be more willing to work with a support team?
No.
And do you see it as an advantage or disadvantage when it comes to scoring, not having a support team out there with you?
I think in ways it is an advantage to get, because you obviously not having to paddle yourself, and they can shove you in on anything. Yep. and you got that backup near the cliffs, and for a spot like this anyway, and to handle the current. But I'm like, right from like I was saying from the beginning, I always wanted to do it independently, and I can. So there's part of me that also feels it wouldn't be right for me to take assistance and do that when I can do it myself, and also that's how I want to do it. So, yes.
That's inspiring as hell, man. I really appreciate your time.
Well,
thank you for being interviewed, and I'll make sure to let you know when this comes out, okay?
Sure. Okay, yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Nice job, dude. Here we go. So, Claudio, first of all, how did it feel like getting in the water again for another big wave competition? It's been a year since your last one.
I think the best part is always just being in the ocean, out there with a couple of other guys, just sharing the lane with 3 stoked out of their mind peeps. So that for me is best. Just being out there.
Awesome. So as far as like you're qualifying for Team Chile, right? Is that official? Have you officially locked in your spot on Team Chile?
Yeah. They do like a qualificatory process.
Okay.
If that's, forget my English, it's a little broken at times, but yeah. Okay. And so at this point, I'm pre-qualified, and so we've got there's a set of tasks that I have to complete every week, and have to make sure I'm training physically, mentally, technically, tactically. And so at this point I'm pre-qualified, so I'm just crossing my fingers that everything goes well and I can be there at the Worlds in December.
When you see competitors like Hunter down in Oceanside, younger folks who are getting into prone surfing. What does that like make you feel as far as like as an influencer and as like, I mean, you're the leader in this, one of the leaders in the sport at this point.
It's just it's so surreal. It's kind of silly to hear it that way, because to me, I just do what I love. But by how you were saying, to see Hunter, for example, it gives me so much joy. I think adaptive surfing has grown so much in the past 10, 15 years, I think. And man, to see a kid out there just absolutely ripping, and I think the best part, the most beautiful part, is to see him coming out with a big smile on his face and just high-fiving everyone around him. Is just there's no words for it. And I think that's the best part about it. That's the best part about adaptive surfing growing.
Well, thank you for adding that tag on there. Are you still recording? Yeah. Okay, cool. So I wanted to ask, as far as your preparation, going from a competition like ASL Santa Cruz to ISA Worlds in a few weeks, how different is your preparation, and how much do you and your support team have to adjust to support that?
I think the hardest part is going from really good waves to crappy waves. But no, I mean, it's mostly just adjusting to beach break, and so the biggest difference would be to get a couple of sessions out at maybe at Manresa or where. And just a similar wave that's similar to Pismo. But I think that's the main. We have our system pretty dialed into who does who does all the how we get back onto the lineup and everything. But it's mostly about getting used to surfing short, punchy waves as opposed to really good waves here.
Nice. Did you have any questions?
I don't know. I think you asked it the first time, but how'd you get involved with surfing? Why surfing?
So I've just been in the ocean ever since I was a little kid. I mean, and the ocean's always been a part of my life, and so once I got injured, once I was in a car accident, and once I became a quadriplegic, my dream was always to get back into the ocean and to I wasn't sure if I was going to walk again, but I knew for sure I was going to surf again. So, and it always started, my goal was always to just have fun, just to be able to surf again, and it slowly progressed. Like, I never thought I would actually be in a competition, but shoot, it evolved naturally and organically into this, and just to see all the stoke surrounding this competition, just it's beautiful. Blows my mind.
What was that feeling like, getting back on the board in the ocean for the first time again?
Ooh. So for the first year, the doctor said I had to not do anything too brusco, too
intense.
Yes, nothing that could destabilize my spine, and so I waited pretty much a year, and the 1 year anniversary of my accident, I got to talk to a few peeps around town that were stoked to just get me out there and get a board set up in a way that I could just somehow just hang tight and just go straight into white water out at 38th, and it was beautiful. I remember that day. I'll never forget it. What it was like to just to be able to surf one more time.
Right on, man.
Can I ask one more question real quick? How did you get introduced to your support team? Tell me a little bit about how you met everybody and about what they do for you as in terms of supporting your endeavors in the water.
So my support team is composed of maybe 15 guys all together, and so before a session, I have to start kind of hitting everyone up. Kind of like a tedious process, just shooting text. And the hardest thing is kind of finding a spot where 3 or 4 people can be available. But yeah, how I met him, kind of all over the place. I moved to Santa Cruz right after the accident. That's kind of how it all just lined up. And some of the guys, I've met them around town, or some of the other ones I've met at Ride a Wave events. Yeah, it's been random encounters, and yeah, I think
you and Kyle seem to have built like a deep rapport. I've seen you guys now at Oceanside here. I saw you here last year. Are there like a couple of individual people that you tend to surf with more frequently?
Yeah, there's like a core group of maybe 6-7 people that
Consistently get together?
Yes.
How many times a month would you say you guys surf?
Twice if we're lucky. That's what I shoot for. That keeps me mentally sane. That's if I can get in the water twice a month, that will give me, yeah, that'll keep me sane. But man, I could list like 10 guys right now that I have a really, really solid rapport and just solid friendship with. That's developed through this, so I could not be more grateful for all of them.
Awesome. I'm good. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you, Claudio.
Yeah.
Phew!
Thank you.
Fun, man.